Welcome back to DreamHack Showdown. We saw some brilliant individual moments through that previous game on Nuke, but Mirage is lingering in the distance here. What stood out to you about that game there, Harry?
Well, you know, I think I've been singing their praises all day long, right? But I think Vodafone Giants, just how like they seem like masters of the mid round. Now, obviously, right, there's a certain like comfortability that comes with being on your map pick. Clearly, they had a lot up their sleeve, right? And it was still a pretty close game, all things considered. I think Mirage, where things get a bit more puggy, where things get a bit more chaotic, that's going to be an interesting one for me, right? I think it's going to give a bit more room as well for the strong AWPing presence on this side of Scada to start shining through. So, you know, I think, Lauren, we could be looking at a 3-map series, if I'm being honest.
I think that could be the case. I would say, though, the kind of crazed style we saw kind of makes it a little bit harder to take full faith in that. You know, it was very puggy, even on a map like Nuke that doesn't tend to allow for that. But Mirage is the pugger's paradise. It fast and loose. Everyone knows what to do on this one. Let's see who's got it a little bit more together than the other. Thus far, the Giants do lead the way. A map to the good, but this could all change. And the third map, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Overpass, could become a reality. Let's see if it begins in the pistol round. T-side will be SKADE, Scada, anything you want to call them, it's up to you. And Vodafone Giants Red will be on the CT side. It looks like a set A piece coming through here. 3 players waiting to catch it.
Oh, that flash very, very well timed. It's going to leave D7 completely out of the round. And now the adjustment attempting to come in. Oh, Ada's on the, like really running the gauntlet there. That was a little bit optimistic, perhaps. Jenny does tap down one. And now a 1v3 to try and find. This is easier said than done, very much so, especially with this open bomb plant, right? And a player over in Connector. I say Connector is jungle, but, you know, like kind of the same area. It's going to make things very, very tricky. And so Jenny isn't able to get too much done in that round there. Also, another thing to note, there was a defuse kit, but that was dropped back in CT. So, you know, like it wasn't even like one of these situations where you can try and like, you know, wait the round out a bit. She had to be very, very proactive in hunting down those kills. And in throwing herself into the middle of the bomb site like that, she does just get overwhelmed. So nice stuff from Scada in the post plant. Now they sit 1-0 up. And they're looking to get off to a flying start here on the T side of their map pick.
I like this little T-side approach, being kind of patient, taking your time, ensuring there's no CT side aggression on those pistols trying to come through. If there's, you know, that mid stack, that mid pressure, they seem prepared. So I assume they'll run the clock down a little bit longer and then use the quite limited but utility that they have to try and pick a site, which obviously, as we can tell, a lovely choice would be A. Now, whether or not they head that way is yet to be seen. If they feel it out, scout it out, they'll probably figure that out. But for now, the B site is the treacherous side of things, and Brazen will be the player trying to jump peek that one. But that bomb is dangerously close, but could divert towards middle.
Yeah, this is like almost about to get very, very spooky indeed, right? Like, because you've waited, you've done everything right on the side of Scada. You're like, right, we're going to wait and see if the pistols push. Well, they haven't. So now we'll hit a bomb site. We'll hit B. Why not? Well, it is very, very stacked. It's got 3 players on it right now, and they've realized that. They spotted 2 more. They go, yeah, no, actually, we're fine. We don't need B. We're pretty content with wherever. And they get a player up in towards A. Now, what this does is this throws this stack into just disarray, right? You've suddenly got to watch market. You've got to be holding on to these pushes in through the apartments. And on the back of losing those 2 players, Scada do just decide to rotate that bomb into the A bomb site. This has gotten very, very expensive now. Whether or not it culminates to like a victory in the round for the Vodafone Giants, maybe not. But, you know, the fact that you've got it down into a 2-on-2 in a round that you only had pistols in, right? This wasn't like a pistol armor investment. There really wasn't a lot behind it. You get out of it with 2 AKs, you were buying up next round anyway, and you've completely laid waste to this T-side money moving into the first buy round. This is great for the Vodafone Giants.
Yeah, this is a huge benefit to any way you could potentially lose a round. You'll take this. This is a happy loss, question mark. For now, keeping hold of those rifles is the paramount accord for them, as the T's will try and chase them down. They know what's happened here. They know they'll have lost out on the kind of longer game of the economy run there. And this play with the P250, I mean, I'm surprised they still continue to funnel into this one by one, just kind of working their way in. again, maybe a little bit lackadaisical on that, and it will hinder them. You can see a couple of players now lacking that utility they potentially would have liked to have had, and obviously a gun here or there certainly lacking in that regard too. Kezi not feeling so good enough. Oh, we've got some mid play coming out. This could be a bloodbath. Flashes galore, and the smokes erupt, but here comes a play. Oh, dearie me, the counter flash was even better, but they line up. What is this? What is this game between these two?
This is mental the way this round has begun, and it ends very, very quickly therein. So, yeah, I mean, you mentioned, right, the flash was really, really good, and even then, they still get mowed down. It's a 3-0 lead now for Scada, and that was a bit of a rough way to begin this. Now, I kind of like the idea from Vodafone Giants, right? Like you're thinking, we know we just got away with way more than we should have in that pistol round. It's the first rifle round of the half. Let's try something that they maybe aren't ready for. They won't expect us to do, right? Because you're probably anticipating that first buy round, they're going to do everything nice and standard. They're going to try and get a feel for the game on the CT side, and instead they go for that mid aggression. But Scada were more than ready for it. They shut it down, and now it's pistols back out for the Vodafone Giants. So yeah, suddenly that great second round kind of has less implications because the money started to bank back up for this T side. And so you're kind of relying on, once again, getting away with far more than you should in this kind of partial buy in round number 4 if you want to keep those spirits nice and high.
And again, running the same sort of default approach. I like this. It's those fundamentals that make me happy, just kind of running through the drill, doing what you need. Still keeping that mid presence certainly noted, with the utility being put down a little later in the round, around the 1 minute marker, of course. But it will be an alien, and they're certainly going to know what's coming their way on the CT side, as even with just those deagles, they'll feel the burn of the molly. And again, I like this. It's ticking every box for me. Using the utility well. Yes, they do lose out on a player. It happens. They lose out on a second. That's unfortunate, and this could get tragic. Already down to a 3v3. It's not what you expected. The clearing of the site was good. The kind of standard approach, and now a cheeky little plant is what the T's are going to grasp towards and hope that they can get securely, which they at least do for now.
Vodafone Giants just don't need guns. In fact, I would say they've looked better with the pistols. I don't know how. I don't know why, but they've been a treat to watch with these pistol armor buy rounds. They're going to disassemble this boost and start to creep and crawl their way into the bomb site, but Kezi, woohoo, gets jumping deeged by Jenny. Trade comes in. However, once again, you've still done a lot of damage. You've still gotten away with a hell of a lot, right? It comes down to 2 players surviving. You force a lot of reinvestment out from Scada, and that's going to stop them like madly steamrolling this kind of first half of play. Because suddenly, right, you still have Hedgie on 8k. She's a bit of a problem. You can deal with her later, though, because the rest of the gang have all had to reinvest. And so everyone else is kind of sitting around this 1.5k to 2.5k mark. That's still good, but it's breakable, you know, it's beatable, and you can still get yourself into the swing of things. However, not with Kezi hitting shots like that. She plays the AWP out of spawn, drops that back over to Zana, who now takes that in her stride. We know that she's the AWP for this squad. So that was just to try and get the pick out from spawn, and it works brilliantly. Now you sit in a 5-on-4, and the world's kind of your oyster at this point. They're going to set back up just to go into a standard A play, and I like this decision. You know that at most there's going to be, what, 2 players inside of this A site, and you're going to take that all day long.
I wonder what the timer is for them. So right about now. Ooh, a bit of a failed flash there. Could create an opportune moment for one of these CT players. Jenny only needs a deagle, it seems, to be able to make it work. But for now, the site is the T's. You can't really play through that smoke. Only 1 flash on Ada right now for CTs, but the boost could do you some damage. But if anything, it costs them a player there already. Bit of a CT push comes out, and the T's win that out on the trade. 80 did find 1, but it was instantly answered and then taken further away. This is a nicely held post farm by the T's. Ada can't make the damage happen. 4 alive, they've managed to stabilize in this round.
This is a pretty rough beginning for the Vodafone Giants. There's been like glimmers of hope, but in these rifle rounds where really it does matter most, like, you know, you can get as many of those pistol armor rounds close as you want, but if you're not converting any round wins, and you know, like what good is that to you? That kind of feels like needless to say. But you know, you keep giving yourself like these opportunities, but eventually you have to convert them to something. You have to actually start to get rounds on the board and start to kind of feel your way through this this CT half, because right now Scada haven't really shown any signs of slowing down or letting up, or letting a few rounds slip by the wayside. This round we've got a nade stack, a bit of artillery that can look to come through from the Vodafone Giants, and I like what they've done with it. It's pretty common to see teams kind of barrel these into ramp early on, at least a couple of these nades, right? Maybe not all of them, maybe it's just 2 or 3 to get that early damage, maybe a couple of kills. Instead, they've held on to all of it. And that's the perfect decision to make, because it's another one of these very, very slow rounds from Scada where they are just holding on to every angle they can. They're waiting to see if these pistols get aggressive. That's not going to happen. And so suddenly this barrage of nades is available to you later in the round. However, if the bomb just gets into B and it goes down almost right away, these nades probably aren't too valuable. So there's a window where you've got to hit the perfect timing to get the usage out of this utility that you've invested in.
This is an interesting read, isn't it? You think the round before, when they were on that pistol stack, they went towards B, and brazen from the T side to hit that, knowing that was where that stack previously was, and maybe the Vodafone Giants trying to switch it up a little bit by sitting towards A potentially. Up against the full-on rifles, and as you said, those nades unable to really find the destination they would have truly desired, but for now, maybe Jenny R can rekindle some of that magic we saw with that Deagle not too long ago. There's the first, needs a couple more to make it interesting, but could definitely do some damage. That all next in line. Why is Jenny like nuts with this?
Man, the Jenny Deeg, who knew, right? She's got it down into this 1v3. Wasn't ready for Kezi, because who would be ready for someone sat up on that boost in the post plant, especially when it's the market retake. Still, 2 great Deegs to at least do a little bit more damage at the end of this round. I don't think Jenny needs an M4. I'm just going to say it. Her Deegan has been stellar. She's sitting top of the board by a pretty significant margin for the Vodafone Giants. It's going to be a reinvestment coming in this round, and they even have the AWP to complement it if they would like. However, if you remember, right, in the first round that we saw the AWP come out, it actually proved to be a bit of a vulnerability for the Vodafone Giants. It gave it a quick pick over to Scada over here in mid. But once again, Kezi, she has the spawn. She's been given the AWP to go for this pick. Is she going to get it? Are we going to see that same head-to-head? It was Laya versus Kezi last time around. Is it happening again?
Laya doesn't have the best response to be going for that. If she does, I think it might be a straight up GG there. Let's see. Kezi's confident too. See as to White. Flash does at least force Kezi away off the angle as well and kind of denies that initial hit. But the T's aren't exactly in a hurry. We've seen that kind of standard approach from them, that they take their time. They're quite meticulous in it. They don't rush things. This is a different look though. They've switched it up quite quickly to this A piece coming in. Now Jenny R, no Deagle this time. Or at least not as the primary. So they're going to have to do well enough with the M4. They're all piling through here. Everyone's coming through ramp this time. This could be an error. This could be a mistake. Hedge is the only one to find success thus far towards A. And that's going to leave a little bit of a problem building now. With that bomb not planted, this could be a real issue.
Yeah, it really could, right? These rotations have arrived very, very quickly. However, bit of a problem here is that CT is wide open, and it was smoked off. So if you're the Vodafone Giants, you're probably thinking they don't know that. But Hedgie went aggressive. She went through this smoke, and she now knows that she's fine to be set up over here in CT. So she can kind of play off of Anya, play this trade game. When you think about Zana rather, over here towards ramp with the AWP, able to come in and offer up assistance, they can get away with all the damage. However, the kills come through. It's Ada and 80 getting that one done to put the first round on the board for the Vodafone Giants. They will be able to get one down by the wayside there, but they need to keep streaking these together here and now. Otherwise, their money's going to be in tatters again. And it's just going to kind of feel like exactly how the beginning of this game has felt, right? Which is that you buy, you lose a round, you take a partial investment, you do a bit of damage because they're good with these deagles, but that's, it's not finding success. So everything's been leading in favor of this T side thus far.
Ooh, hold on. Different look here. We've got way more utility being used early on. Lots of mid presence. We kind of saw this one, I think, the first gun round potentially when they went for that aggressive play on the CT side up middle. This time we're seeing it towards the extremities on the map, and it works really well for Ada, especially after the confidence building she's probably had in the last couple of rounds here. But it doesn't deny that 3-play stack towards middle coming out for the T's, but how do you convert that towards either of the sites when you don't have much presence there? The bomb's still way back down by kind of, the backside of T mid, so it's a little bit uncomfortable considering they have no flashes now left, one smoke, and they're stuck kind of in that, not necessarily no man's land, but it's tricky unless they get some success maybe from ramp or in another direction.
Well, Kezi's gotten out. And Eddie's trying to keep this one under wraps from Con. Now, Jenny's in a bit of an awkward spot there. Has to get taken out, and it's Kezi on the entries once again. She's been good at finding these. D7, yeah, she got spotted. That's not the end of the world, though. Not with the bomb getting dropped at ramp as well. I don't really know how Ada was able to get into such a forward position to lock that round in. But they turn it around, and I'm happy to see that D7's kind of recovered from her rough start to this game. You know, she was yet to have a frag up until the round before last. And now we see her exploding back into the map, and that's good because that's what we had from her over on Nuke. So we're getting this recovery. We're getting a couple of key players finding their footing here for the Vodafone Giants. And critically, it's not like when the game is too far gone. So they can still keep this pressure up. They deep smoke into apps. But already, Scada are up and through it. They go running in. There was a double molly beneath the window. I really like that idea. Flashes are going in as well, but the MAC-10's wrapped close. Lions got one, and this is going to leave Vodafone Giants in a 3-on-2 retake at the B site.
These flashes have been really, really good from the CTs, though. That little double that got picked up, those kind of 2 kills, were really, really integral. They've got them pinned on the site as well. This retake should have some good success. I don't see any play coming out from Zana there. Again, some of that utility usage from the CTs, even with this really, really quickened pace, is quite impressive. I'm almost worried that was a team flash, though, from the Ts. I do want to almost see that back if I could. If someone caught that, I was wondering if it was a bit of a team flash. But if not, nicely controlled by the CTs. And again, that timeout seemed to have worked wonders for the Vodafone Giants, considering they were clearly unable to maintain the pace there for a bit. It was just spiraling away. They just didn't have a grip on it. This seems much better. This seems pretty solid now. Not too subtle with this play towards Palace, but if they go quick, they gonna be on the site and okay, you hit that. All right, fair enough. I mean, it's not great because now the T's have every step towards the site as they possibly could.
Yeah, I mean, this without knowing it, this was the perfect round for them to pull in this Palace waterfall play where you just send everyone barreling into the site. They overwhelmed the one player that was there. It was just the AWP holding inside of the site. However, kills are coming in to try and get this round back under control, but Kultura back here in CT. She's put up 3. She needs the ace, and she's going to get 4. Not quite enough. The round does get locked in for Vodafone Giants, but damn, that was a great attempt from back in CT with this stolen AWP to almost find the round. That's a lot of damage done. Thankfully for Vodafone Giants, they'd already built up a bit of a bank, so they're not too worried on that end of things just yet. But yeah, I mean, that was the ideal round to go for a play like that. In that round there, they'd gone for very, very heavy mid presence on the Vodafone Giants side. And the AWP, instead of playing in CT, which is usually where you'd expect to see an AWP kind of hanging around if you are soloing that site so you can fall off and play retake, it was actually behind triple. And so that was just begging to get taken by Scada and used against them, or used against the Vodafone Giants rather.
Ooh,
in that
mid-aggression now?
Yeah, they're trying to hand it, but well, they are making it work. They're making it look good. The USP gets a dink off, and that's going to get finished by D7. Leah comes alive on triple, and this leaves Hedgie in this 1v2.
Oh, the bomb being where it is makes it so tricky. Just you have to work around middle. That's a big one. That's the shutdown, though. It happens. A nice start to it, but the book was shut swiftly. But the pacing, again, it feels like, you know, the Vodafone Giants do thrive in some part of this chaos, but as to the T's here, it's been that mid battle, man. I don't know. I just it's just sometimes it feels like I was so surprised that they committed completely to that mid play, considering they'd lost out on that initial pick. They were still willing to go for that fight. Like they're playing such a brave game at times.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing, right? Like that kind of style of CS is only going to be getting better and better the more rounds they're getting under their belt. You know, like when they were trying it early on, it felt a little misguided because it almost felt like the confidence wasn't matching up to like the kind of hyper aggressive plays they were going for. Whereas now, you know, like suddenly you come back from a 6-0 deficit to 5-6. That confidence is building back up. And so when you go for these like very unorthodox mid plays late in the round, being in a 3-on-5, just aggressing into the horde that is in front of you, they're hitting their shots, and that's making all the difference. I hate saying that phrase. Oh, I hate that just came out of my mouth, but you know, it's just like you get in your opponent's head and you only build up your own confidence and your own ability in this game. It's a B play in this round, and 80's hidden, but this is going to get checked almost definitely. However, does get one, not quite a second with the MP9, but this has given Ada a bit of time to move back on Catwalk. She does strike another from the tally. It's a 3-on-3 retake at B. This is even odds, one of the most even retakes we've seen in this game, and this could be quite a good indicator of where the Giants are at right now in terms of this CT side.
A little unfortunate, Jenny does only have the SMG to play with and an AWP as well for Leia. That's going to be a little bit trickier to use, so a lot of presence now has to be put towards D7, who goes down almost instantaneously. Trade is offered up, though can't convert towards short, and now Jenny has to just bound in and do the best she can with very limited amounts. Does get a good bit of damage, but damage doesn't mean you win the round. So, again, this has been one of those very bloodied battles, I feel, so far between these two. The money has been teetering on the edge for both of these teams through several occasions. The CT side now is absolutely broke, though.
I'm just never ready to count them out with these Deegs. I'm really not. I haven't... You know, I've just seen so much ridiculous stuff from them. And D7's Deagle looked really good back on Nuke as well. The fact that, like I say, she's really turned this around. I think she was 0-6 at one point, now 10-10. You know, like if you kind of look at that outside of the 0-6 beginning, that's a 10-4 recovery. So she's really arrived back on the scene, and they've got this nice double setup at the top of connector. Jenny's already got two. Desi's trying to respond from Palace, but she's getting pressured. Does answer the call on the first. And now this is where Vodafone Giants, they pump the brakes. They kind of go, all right, look, we still have the advantage. We're still in a 4-on-3. Let's not feed the beast up in Palace. Let's just wait for this play to come on in. And considering they've got a player on the wrap, the longer they can stay alive in the site, the longer they can keep all eyes focused inwards, the more valuable this flank becomes. And Zana, she thinks that she just checked it, but it was a little too early. That's another kill from the Deagles, and Kezi is gone as well. The Deegs get it done, Lauren. We kind of knew it would happen. We knew it would happen eventually, and there it is.
I'm just like full body cringing when it happens so often. It just makes something dirty about it, you know? Something just a little filthy about it. And Jenny, just every time, just always good for two. You're just every time. It's like, oh, I just try to Jenny Deagle, get 2 kills. Right? It's all good. It's all gravy. Bit of a switch up. This mid fight again. It's been brutal thus far. The utility usage from the CTs is good. It gets them up towards the top of mid. They've got to be ready for the fight. They were outdone by the Deagle on the other side this time. SMGs galore because, well, who's ever had stable money when this game's been going on? 80 switching up to the old CZ. I almost said Frenzy. Jesus Christ, someone help me. And D7 waits for the hop out, mopping it up. And Hedgie this time wants to have a shot at it with that Deeg.
So, like, getting into B is all well and good, but it's not ideal because you still don't have this bomb, and that's under full control of this CT squad. And Jenny's just, well, I was going to say posted up and should have that kill dead to rights, but I don't think I can ever surefire call who's going to win these fights. Not when Hedgie's on the other side either. She's in this 1v2. She knows that Lia's here, down in the bottom of mid. She's lost her teammate, leaving her all alone, and all the attention is suddenly fixated onto the catwalk. You're going to be hard-pressed to find anything. They've heard that bit of noise on the drop-down, and she's just not being given anything. So I still think she's keen to give this round a go, right? This is a rotation so that she has a few more options available. They heard her drop down off of the ladder room, and so they're anticipating that she's still floating around the catwalk. And now that there's been some silence, now that there's been a bit of a lull in the action, they start to look elsewhere. They start to consider other options. And they're just going to box in the top of middle, try and trade, try and play off of one another. Hedgie doesn't have a lot of time, so she might just need these kills, and that's not going to come through. Vodafone Giants, they find a 7th. Once again, when you look at this through the lens that this was a 6-0 start for Scada, this is a great turnaround from the Giants crew over here on this CT side.
But look at their money. It's been absolutely dog turd the whole time. It's like everything I think I know about Counter-Strike, I'm like, right, yeah, they've had shit money for the last God knows how many rounds. It doesn't matter. Jenny's got 4 kills with a Deagle. Don't matter, there's an SMG. But this time with the AWP, absolutely dumpster babied. Like, ooh. It just hurts me. Tootsies are showing. And Kezi, not gonna let that get away. 5v3. Ooh, Counter-Strike's weird sometimes. And 80 just praying that smoke works in their favor.
just, I mean, this is so 50-50, and Hedgie's going to mop it up. So Jenny left in a 1v5. I'm not fancying her odds here, as impressed as we've been by her displays. On with the Famous. Now, does find the first, and all these players for Scada are pretty spread out. 2 players on the wraparound coming in from behind might make things tricky. Then he gets the first, down to the USP, but not able to follow up.
Everything I thought I knew about Counter-Strike seems to be kind of thrown out the window sometimes, and I guess you have to learn a new lesson, but 8-7 on the half is an incredibly close affair. First map was with the Vodafone Giants, but this one could go either way. I think it's going to come down to the wire, and you know what? I wouldn't be that upset to go to a third map. We'll find out if it goes that far in just a moment's time. Guys, do stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment after the break.
Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Fly in the visual, high in the spiritual. Life can't get rid of you. This what I'm gonna do. Kick off my shoes, get in the mood, get on down, get in the groove. I feel alive, I can't hide it. Look in my eyes, I feel excited. I got the Midas touch, and I'm the brightest. I'm gonna try my luck. Are you ready to roll? I'm getting on they last, I'm steady on go. I'm all up in the back, I'm heavy a pro. I take them all to class, I pit on the show. I do it with pizzazz, I polish my own crown. They know I'm in my bag, I body them on down. I'm who they can't pass, I handle my all frowns. They cameras off flash like this is my song now. Yeah. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me do my thing. I get out of control, I take off like a plane. I groove, check the moves, I rock out with a bang. I do just what I do at the top of my game. Top of my game, lots pit to shame. Come deal with the crew, I stop them in a lane. Who's worried about who? I drop them with a flame. They coming for round 2, like watch me entertain, yeah. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Bust another move, hello, bust another move, down, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Get on down, bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Fly in the visual, high in the spiritual. Life can't get rid of you. This what I'm gonna do. Kick off my shoes, get in the mood, get on down, get in the groove. I feel alive, I can't hide it. Look in my eyes, I feel excited. I got the Midas touch, and I'm the brightest. I'm gonna try my luck. Are you ready to roll? I'm getting on they last, I'm steady on go. I'm all up in the back, I'm heavy a pro. I take a we will stand our ground.
Welcome back to halfway through map 2. And, you know, Harry, we were discussing on the break there some things in great detail about this game, obviously, in front of us. You said something about dualies being a factor on occasion. It seems as though we're seeing that.
Oh, yeah, you know, like, yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like, 2 is always better than 1. And with them, you get 2, Lauren. And so I guess that's better than 1. I guess I already said that. Zana's over here in the window. She's got a little P250 and that's a cool little smoke. Throw it in to block off this jungle rotate. I love what I've just seen there. That's going to allow free passageway through CT. That's actually A lovely little decision from the Vodafone Giants, and they just overwhelm this B site as a result. That's cool. I'm stealing that one. I'm using that later today. Utara over here towards short, and she's got Hedgie moving in through the market. Does tap down the first, and it's left in a 2-on-2, so still a chance for Scada to find this pistol round. These peaks are still coming in, and Hedgie has removed another. She needs the 3K if she wants to pick this pistol round up.
Sound like I just got gnomed, but Hedgie. Oh, the timing. Oh, the timing. Oh, it's there. Nicely done by Hedgie in the end, and has the kit to boot. So keeps it in check and keeps a bit of distance away from the Vodafone Giants. But you said it, you know, that pistol round was pretty creative. I kind of like that. It was a little bit different, a little unique. Let's have a little watch back of this one. Popping in through the window, having a lovely time of it all. And if the success hadn't come out from Hedgie, you got to feel as though that was all going to be the T side, but not to be. As Scada, wasn't there like a Euro dance band called Scada something? I feel as though it was. Frankie probably knows this. She's filled with useless information like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I appreciate you giving me the benefit of the doubt that I might know Euro dance fans, but it's not really my scene.
You're not old enough. I'm feeling Cascada. There it is. My brain is filled with garbage. Towards A, and the A site has been overrun by T players. Uh-oh, a little bit ahead of yourself there, Ada. Runs straight past Hedgie, and she's going to claim that for free. This mad aggression, this purchase is pretty wild, and the missed shot maybe opens up an opportunity. And now on the retake, this AWP is feeling rough to make here, but suddenly, Xanath makes it look easy. What the hell is that?
When I saw the AWP get purchased up, I was a little bit nervous, right? Because I'm like, AWP into what could have been, you know, like a pistol and armor round, or just a couple of deags here and there. If you pick that up, then suddenly that gets very, very scary. But no, Xana's just showing me that she can wield that to devastating effect. Like 1v3s, was it? Or was that like still a 2v3 at the end there? Regardless, like, you know, she gets all three in the retake and makes it look very, very easy. And gets that round locked in. Now with the bomb plant, it's going to free up a little bit more investment in this round here and now for the Vodafone Giants, but it's not really like anything to write home about. It's just some pistols, some utility. I like the focus on utility over armor here, right? It's going to give them a few more options. However, it still very much relies on you not just getting mowed down as you try and get out through the apartment.
Timing on the utility. They've read this well, but the flashes are pretty good from the T's here. The pressure is mounting and is suddenly broken. Already it's down to just Kezi holding onto this, and the support has arrived, and it's the AWP running into the fight against pistols. What the hell is going on? This confidence is just nuts right now. I feel as though surely that gets punished. Surely everything I know about this is you don't charge in with your AWP straight in towards SMGs on the B side, but apparently Xanath does. Does not give a flying... I've been swearing a lot recently is what I've realized, and it's...
See, Lauren, you need you need one of these. I got this thing, so if I ever want to swear, like if I wanted to say the F word like you were going to, you could say right? And then it's like, it goes over the top. It's like a little bleeper, right? That would be handy for you, I think. And Xana might need one as well, because he's completely annihilated these players down here in mid early on. I'm going to use another bad word there, Lauren, but I'm trying to move away from them, because I find that once I slip one in, that's it, you know, like the inner Brit in me just comes out, and it's like every 3 words.
It's tricky. It is tricky out here. I've honestly just stopped caring that much. I feel like I get away with it more in other games.
It's a good tactic.
Yeah, because the production companies don't know that, you know, they're just like, oh, I guess that's just what they do. I'm like, yeah, that's completely normal. Can't help myself. And we'll see if Kezi can help herself to a good couple of kills here. That T side is building again, and about the 1 minute marker, they walk in. My word. I don't think I've seen her with a rifle, but it still seems to put her on 16 kills. Falls away, allows the plane to come through from short, but the crossfire doesn't really hold, and Ada's on the case now. Can't swing around in time to find Xanath, but there is a bit of danger here.
Yeah, I'd say there's quite a bit of danger here, my word, but Xana, she actually doesn't seem phased by danger at all. She just kind of throws herself into it. Her middle name is danger. Can't confirm that as true or false, but it certainly looks like it, right? Like, she's so keen to take these fights with the AWP, and with good reason. You know, she has risen to the top of this SKADE squad in a matter of rounds. Since getting onto this CT side, bringing the AWP out, her presence on this map has just been incredible. And this is kind of like what we got a taste of back on Nuke. It just feels like it was a bit harder for her to be finding this same impact. But here on Mirage, she's very mobile. She's constantly switching it up. We've seen her here, there, and everywhere. And in this round, she was in window. She sees the smoke go down. She begins the rotation in towards B. And so once again, she's already here, just helping out the B site defenders. However, this time, they might not necessarily need her assistance. Doesn't mean she's not ready to offer it anyway. As she shut down one, leaving it on Liar 1-on-3. Now turn 1v2. This AWP, as it often does, peeks into the angle and comes in clutch again for this CT side.
She's nuts. Where's she been the whole time? Like, we've seen glimpses of it. But that's a big amount of spice has just been added across Mirage. And yeah, this has been just an absolute stomping thus far on this half. It was like, okay, bit of a close affair on the first half, but the old switcheroo happens and suddenly we're on 13 rounds. Where the hell did they just go? The Vodafone Giants just, it feels like they haven't even had the time to have the gun round yet, but clearly they have. It's just, they've been absolutely stomped in this one. Able to fashion a purchase here, probably far from what they'd ideally like. It's going to be lacking in certain areas. Galils are plenty, but at least they have the utility to make something happen, but I don't know what they can make happen. I'm kind of curious if they can get past that AWP that's been absolutely terrorizing them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like what we're seeing here is a team. I would say Vodafone Giants, the thing I've really enjoyed about them is that they're very methodical and they've got a lot of ideas, you know, like, and a lot of them I've really liked. A lot of these calls, a lot of these strategies that they've employed, I think have been great and have often been the right call. But you meet like these great individual players on the other side that can step up and turn the tide of battle. And that's where they're falling short, right? That's where these rounds are getting stripped away because they get into the sites, they're getting these kills. This round now, they're in a 2-on-3. And this is where we need the individuals to start shining through for the Vodafone Giants because my, oh my, have they been shining for SKADE. Here's an example. Yazzie and Zana, they go pushing on in, they find the kills needed. Anya held down the site all alone, you know, essentially like 1v5 trapped in the bomb site, was able to put up 3. And so the defuse is going to come on in. Once again, it's just a great individual play to turn that round on its head. As you know, try as you might on the Vodafone Giants side, doesn't come through. So it's 14 on the board. At least the bomb plant going to give them a bit more money. Obviously in that round there, it was like Galil's utility. They didn't really have everything you would like. But now they get a proper go at it, and it could be their last proper go at it if they don't turn this around soon.
I think this one's done. Put a fork in it. Maybe a bow, whatever you like to do. It's over. 14-7. Have they got around on the T side yet?
No.
Yeah. Maybe it's a little overdone. It's overcooked. Already CTs starting to get a little aggressive. It's hard to fault them for it when they're doing so well. Obviously, it can open up a window of opportunity to have, you know, issues occur, but when it's all going right, it's all going right. Zenith this time forced away from window. You can see potentially a bit of a play through the underpass there, trying to take a bit of mid control, finally using all that utility to try and hinder some of these aggressive peaks, and you have to do that. You got to go through the motions now. You can't play fast and loose. Let's see if they can get anything done, though. They've got the mid control. Now they've got to build from it. Uh-oh.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. They're still lining up utility, and Hedgie has just completely shut this round down. Surely, right? You're in this 4-on-3 now. Well, maybe not. Maybe not, because 3 players that are alive, they all get kills in a matter of moments. And this has left Zana and Anya in this 2 versus 3 retake at the B bomb site. However, that bomb was dropped all the way back in apartments, and they're going to go A. This is an interesting decision to make. I kind of like it, right? Because you know that Scada is setting up to retake this B site. Jenny getting that kill as well is so valuable at just drawing Zana in. That opens up the free plant. Jenny is just wasting time off the clock. Look at her go. Such a nuisance. Ring around the roses. And my word, This is, yeah, Zana, I'd be feeling enraged right now. Like, you've just, oh, she's doing it again. Jenny, it's like she knows. She's got a sixth sense. Oh, the no-scope. That never hits, but it hits this time. However, the time is already too far gone, and so it will just be the save on this AWP. If she can get away with it, she gets the tag there. Zana is nuts, man. That's a 180 to almost deal with the player that's hunting her down.
She just cracked. Look at this. Of course, she's gonna hit that. No, okay. All right. It took 3 of them to take her down in the end. But first round on the board. Of course, the second I say that the Vodafone Giants are done, boom, they're back. They're back in the picture. The money's still pretty decent, I think, for the CT side. If I call a glimpse there, it should be. I don't know why they'd be down so low. I know some of the rounds have been scrappy, but they've been stringing it together. And she's flank was so perfectly timed then. And Zenith, nutty from what we've seen. It's a little weaker than maybe they'd like. They have been close rounds, I guess. They have been certainly put through the paces. 22 kills, though, for Zana. Outstanding play from her so far. That AWP is something to be certainly taken noted of. I'm sure the team's watching this. If you're the team in the next round waiting for whomever wins this to face off against, you'll definitely be taking note of a couple of things you've seen so far. Good there, Harry.
Yeah, I'm just taking it all in, Lauren.
Oh, okay.
I'm just taking it all in. Look at this, right? You got like a nice little pistol stack. This is about to get real messy. Vodafone Giants, they're executing into the A-bomb site. They waited early on to see if any aggression came through. It didn't. But now, as they go in, they are kind of poking the bear here. And never really, well, never mind. It's all over. It's all done. The bear got poked and it just ran away. Pretty tenuous metaphor link there, but kind of brought it around almost.
It took some time.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you were okay. You went really quiet. I got very nervous. I was like, oh,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. My little screen like lagged out for a moment. I didn't want to be like, yeah, well, you know, I think I know what's happening here, Lauren. Because if this game showed me anything, I probably don't know what's about to happen. Ada's holding down mid. But the pistols do find a lot of damage, and they get away with these kills. Now, he's gone in through the lower tunnels. Oh dear. Oh no, you don't want to give this AWP over. This whole round could fall apart if she goes down. It's very important that she stays alive, and she does. She gets all 3. Little spray at the end there. And out there's the celebration. 10 on the board for the Vodafone Giants. In the first half of play, they went 0-6 down, and they were able to pull it back to a 7-round half. Can they do a similar sort of comeback here up against 14 in the second half of play?
This is a big checkpoint, isn't it? It's this one. All the guns are back in play. Zana has the AWP back in hand. Got some aggression coming out towards B. This is, oh, that's a freebie. It's a freebie, and it's a bad one to have against you on the T side. You've lost out on your AWP there. That's going to sting a little. Zana already switching things up, looking for a new angle, looking to see if she can catch anyone off, which she may very well be able to do. I like seeing variety on that CT side. It's always exciting. But again, the T's haven't stopped their progress, but Zana, oh, the timing's so unfortunate. The second she adjusts the shot, Ada's there on the other side.
And now we get this slowdown where everything's just going to stop for a moment while the kind of pieces of the puzzle fall into place for the Vodafone Giants. They smoke out mid-window. They Molotov and connect it. They've given a bit of a signal that they might try and make something happen over here towards mid. And there's still a very heavy A presence from Scada. Now, this is getting faked out by Ada. She's throwing in this CT smoke. She's aggressing up on her own, and she's doing a great job of keeping 3 players here inside of this A site. Even though she gets dropped, she's given a small window of opportunity for the rest of the team to hit B. However, this push is very disjointed. It's kind of all over the place. Luckily enough, Jenny has offered up that kill, and in doing so, secures a plant at the B bomb site. Maybe that nade's going to get rid of her, though. And that leaves 80 in this 1v3.
Not for long. It's 15 rounds about to come on towards the board. It's going to be back to the wall CS if Vodafone Giants want to take it in this map. Otherwise, it's Overpass coming up, and I might have to make another coffee. Who knows? I fancy it now. I got a cheeky little, coffee way. Maybe I'll crack a can of Monster. It might be that time. If it does, potentially, if it goes OT and then a third map, it might be time for the Monster can to come out. Who knows? But for now, I think you're right in what you said. It was that disjointed aspect. It felt very individual. Untradeable kills coming in towards B were quite surprising from the T side. They've not been quite good in those kind of chaotic moments, but it seemed to just kind of fall apart a little in those moments. Now, at 15 to 10, though, the timeout comes in. Why not use it? You've got it. And the T side need to consider their options here because, again, a couple of faults starting to show, but you've got to bear in mind, probably a stressed scenario, but you've got to hope they can keep it together in those moments because the CT side certainly can. Incredibly clutch players coming out for them.
Yeah, I think you're bang on, right? Because all day I feel like I've been praising the Vodafone Giants for looking like they're very strategic and methodical in how they're approaching this game right now, and that round there was just anything but. And I think that's why it was such a stark contrast between the two. We're so used to seeing them play this trade game and play off of each other really, really well. And in that round there, that just was not the case. And it punishes them greatly. Now they're up against 15. They need 5 in a row. And that's just to turn the tide back again and begin overtime. That's not even for a guaranteed victory at that point. You've got to keep longing it out, even past the 5 rounds needed to get you there. So it's a pretty tall order. It's a pretty tall task. Can they rise to the occasion? Or are we heading to overpass? Anya's already picked up one over here at ramp. She's looking to get this game swept under the rug and move in to a third map. Smoke down at the top of con allows for this presence to be maintained, and they might just look to blitz their way on through.
It's causing a bit of paranoia to kick in for Zana there. You have to keep in mind that little kind of way towards CT is open, which has kind of taken a play away from A at least. So this mid control, let's see how much movement it can cause. D7 could make presence noted. Flash is coming through. It's time to go. Not fully blind by any means, and just fine. And now again, piece by piece, they keep walking forward. Jenny Yell's position is good. That's going to cut them in half, keep them in maybe manageable portions, but they have to get past this A defense.
Oh, and Zana's here, and you don't want to mess with her. She's shut down 2. 80's left in the clutch to try and deny the victory, to try and deny this third map, and she can't do it. 16 to 10. Scada, they're going to take this one. They get it under the rug. That there is going to be overpass locked in, and on the horizon, I think, with Zana popping off on that AWP, overpass becomes a very exciting prospect in my eyes. That there is a map that can just be dominated by a strong AWPing presence. And my word, have we found one over on the Scada side.
You were looking really close to that AWPing presence.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Hi.
I've missed casting CS. It's a good time. But yeah, speaking of good times, another map's coming up. So we've got Overpass now on the horizon. Both teams winning out on their chosen maps. Both kind of being, I don't want to say decisive, but they look stronger on their own. So I am curious to see how this one plays out. But as you said, if that AWP stays as potent as we just saw, it could be a huge swing factor in this one. And I don't want to waste any more time. I want to go maybe grab a can of Monster. So we're going to go to a short break to allow me a second or two to walk all the way over to my fridge, which is literally just there. It's very far, very, very far. I live a very humble lifestyle. And we'll catch you guys after the break, so do stay tuned.